I found that nothing in life is worthwhile unless you take risks. Nothing. Nelson Mandela said, "There is no passion to be found playing small and settling for a life that's less than the one you're capable of living." Now, I'm sure in your experiences in school and applying to college and picking your major and deciding what you want to do with life, I'm sure people have told you to make sure you have something to fall back on. Make sure you got something to fall back on, honey. But I never understood that concept, having something to fall back on. If I'm going to fall, I don't want to fall back on anything except my faith. I want to fall forward. I figure at least this way I'll see what I'm going to hit. Fall forward. This is what I mean. Reggie Jackson struck out 2,600 times in his career, the most in the history of baseball. But you don't hear about the strikeouts. People remember the home runs. Fall forward. Thomas Edison conducted 1,000 failed experiments. Did you know that? I didn't know that. Because the 1,001st was the light bulb. Fall forward. Every failed experiment is one step closer to success. You've got to take risks, and I'm sure you've probably heard that before, but I want to talk to you about why that's so important. First, you will fail at some point in your life. Accept it. You will lose. You will embarrass yourself. You will suck at something. There's no doubt about it. And I know that's probably not a traditional message for a graduation ceremony, but hey, I'm telling you, embrace it, because it's inevitable. And I should know. In the acting business, you fail all the time. Early on in my career, I auditioned for a part in a Broadway musical. Perfect role for me, I thought, except for the fact that I can't sing. So I'm in the wings, I'm about to go on stage, but the guy in front of me, he's singing like Pavarotti. He's just, he's just going on and on and on. And I'm just shrinking, I'm getting smaller and smaller. So they say, "Oh, thank you very much, and you'll be hearing from us." So I come out with my little sheet music, and it was Just My Imagination by the Temptations. That's what I came up with. So I hand it to the accompanist, and she looks at it and looks at me, and looks out at the director, and was like, "Nice." So I start, I'm going to sing. I'm like, "It's just my imagination once again, and then coming away with me." And they're not saying anything, so I'm thinking I'm getting better. So I just start getting into it. It was just my imagination. Running this out. Thank you very much, Mr. Washington. Thank you. So I assumed I didn't get the job. But the next part of the audition, he called me back. The next part of the audition is the acting part of the audition. So I'm like, hey, okay, maybe I can't sing, but I know I can act. So they pair me with this guy, and again, I didn't know about musical theater. And musical theater is big, so they can reach everyone all the way in the back of the stadium. And I'm more from a realistic, naturalistic kind of acting where you actually talk to the person next to you. So I don't know what my line was. My line was, "Well, hand me the cup." And his line was, "Well, I will hand you the cup, my dear. The cup will be there to be handed to you." And I said, "Oh, okay." "Well, should I give you the cup back?" "Oh, yes, you should give it back to me, because you know that is my cup and it should be given back to me." I didn't get the job. But here's the thing. I didn't quit. I didn't fall back. I walked out of there to prepare for the next audition, and the next audition, and the next audition. I prayed. I prayed. And I prayed. But I continued to fail and fail and failed. But it didn't matter because you know what? There's an old saying, you hang around the barbershop long enough, sooner or later you're going to get a haircut. So you will catch a break, and I did catch a break. Last year, I did a play called Fences on Broadway. Someone talked about it. Won the Tony Award. And I didn't have to sing, by the way. But here's the kicker. It was at the Court Theater. It was at the same theater that I failed that first audition 30 years prior. The point is, every graduate here today has the training and the talent to succeed. But do you have the guts to fail? Here's my second point about failure. If you don't fail, you're not even trying. I'll say it again. If you don't fail, you're not even trying. My wife told me this great expression. To get something you never had, you have to do something you never did. Les Brown's a motivational speaker. He made an analogy about this. He says, imagine you're on your deathbed, and standing around your deathbed are the ghosts representing your unfulfilled potential. The ghost of the ideas you never acted on. The ghost of the talents you didn't use. And they're standing around your bed, angry, disappointed, and upset. They say, we came to you because you could have brought us to life, they say. And now we have to go to the grave together. So I ask you today, how many ghosts are going to be around your bed when your time comes? You've invested a lot in your education, and people have invested in you. And let me tell you, the world needs your talents, and does it ever. I just got back from Africa like 2 days ago, so if I'm rambling on, it's because I'm jet lagged. I just got back from South Africa. It's a beautiful country, but there are places there with terrible poverty that need help. And Africa is just the tip of the iceberg. The Middle East needs your help. Japan needs your help. Alabama needs your help. Tennessee needs your help. Louisiana needs your help. Philadelphia needs your help. The world needs a lot, and we need it from you. We really do. We need it from you young people. I mean, I'm not speaking for the rest of us up here, but I know I'm getting a little grayer. We need it from you, the young people, because remember this. So you got to get out there. You got to give it everything you got, whether it's your time, your talent, your prayers, or your treasures. Because remember this. You will never see a U-Haul behind a hearse. You can't take it with you. The Egyptians tried it, and all they got was robbed. So the question is, what are you going to do with what you have? I'm not talking about how much you have. Some of you are business majors. Some of you are theologians, nurses, sociologists. Some of you have money. Some of you have patience. Some of you have kindness. Some of you have love. Some of you have the gift of long suffering. Whatever it is, whatever your gift is, what are you going to do with what you have? All right, now here's my last point about failure. Sometimes it's the best way to figure out where you're going. Your life will never be a straight path. I began at Fordham University as a pre-med student. I took a course called cardiac morphogenesis. I still can't say it. It's cardiac morphogenesis. I couldn't read it. I couldn't say it. I sure couldn't pass it. So then I decided to go into pre-law, then journalism. And with no academic focus, my grades took off in their own direction. Yeah, down. I was a 1.8 GPA one semester, and the university very politely suggested that it might be better to take some time off. I was 20 years old. I was at my lowest point. And then one day, and I remember the exact day, March 27th, 1975, I was helping my mother in her beauty shop. My mother owned a beauty shop up in Mount Vernon. And there was this older woman who was considered one of the elders in the town. And I didn't know her personally, but I was looking in the mirror. And every time I looked in the mirror, I could see her behind me. And she was staring at me. She just kept looking at me. Every time I looked at her, she kept giving me these strange looks. So she finally took the dryer off her head and she said something I'll never forget. First of all, she said, somebody give me a piece of paper. Give me a piece of paper. She said, young boy, I have a prophecy, a spiritual prophecy. She said, you are going to travel the world and speak to millions of people. Now, mind you, I'm 20 years old. I'm flunked out of school. In fact, like a wise ass, I'm thinking to myself, maybe she's got something in that crystal ball about me getting back into school next fall. But maybe she was onto something, because later that summer, while working as a counselor at a YMCA camp in Connecticut, we put on a talent show for the campers. And after the show, another counselor came up to me and asked, have you ever thought about acting? You're good at that. So when I got back to Fordham that fall, I got in, I changed my major once again for the last time. And in the years that followed, just as that woman prophesied, I have traveled the world and I have spoken to millions of people through my movies. Millions who up till this day couldn't see me, who up till this day I couldn't see while I was talking to them, and they couldn't see me. They could only see the movie. They couldn't see the real me. But I see you today, and I'm encouraged by what I see. And I'm strengthened by what I see. And I love what I see.
Never give up. Without commitment, you'll never start. But more importantly, without consistency, you'll never finish. It's not easy. If it were easy, there'd be no Denzel Washington. So keep working, keep striving, never give up, fall down 7 times, get up 8. Ease is a greater threat to progress than hardship. So keep moving, keep growing, keep learning. See you at work. True desire in the heart for anything good is God's proof to you, sent beforehand to indicate that it's yours already. Don't just aspire to make a living. Aspire to make a difference. What are you going to do with what you have? I'm not talking about how much you have. Some of you are business majors. Some of you are theologians, nurses, sociologists. Some of you have money. Some of you have patience. Some of you have kindness. Some of you have love. Some of you have the gift of long suffering. Whatever it is, whatever your gift is, what are you going to do with what you have? Dreams without goals are just dreams, and they ultimately fuel disappointment. So have dreams, but have goals. Life goals, yearly goals, monthly goals, daily goals. I try to give myself a goal every day. Sometimes it's just to not curse somebody out. Simple goals, but have goals. And understand that to achieve these goals, you must apply discipline and consistency. In order to achieve your goals, you must apply discipline, which you have already done, and consistency every day, not just on Tuesday and miss a few days. You have to work at it every day. You have to plan every day. You've heard the saying, we don't plan to fail, we fail to plan. Hard work works. Working really hard is what successful people do. And in this text, tweet, twerk world that you've grown up in, remember, just because you're doing a lot more doesn't mean you're getting a lot more done. Remember that. Just because you're doing a lot more doesn't mean you're getting a lot more done. Don't confuse movement with progress. My mother told me, she said, yeah, because you can run in place all the time and never get anywhere. So continue to strive, continue to have goals, continue to progress. When you find yourself alone, enveloped in darkness, feeling unseen, unheard, uncared for, it cuts deep. But amidst this pain, I urge you to realize the most crucial truth of all. You must love yourself fiercely. To make a mark on this world, to truly live and not just exist, you must fall in love with yourself anew. Stop the cycle of self-hatred. Stop beating yourself down. Lift yourself up. Do something, anything that propels you forward, that crafts a better version of yourself. Life is indeed short. Many have left us too soon, not knowing that the very next day would bring an end to their plans and dreams. But you who are here in this moment, you are alive. We are always just one decision away from a completely different life. The key is to choose the future over the past, to embrace the next step rather than dwelling on the last one. It's about choosing the life we desire and taking action to make it a reality. A few years ago, I had a breakthrough that changed my life. It was a moment when I realized the tremendous amount of control I have over my own life. This realization empowered me, as if I had finally discovered the key to unlock the door that had been holding me back. From that moment on, I asked myself, why not start living like I have this power? Life will always have its responsibilities and sacrifices, but knowing that I can shape my own destiny made me question what I was sacrificing for. Where was I going? Who was I surrounding myself with? Was I living a life true to myself? Time passes by quickly, and it's not guaranteed. No one will remind us that we're just going through the motions. We have to take a look in the mirror and ask ourselves the tough questions. We have the tools and the ability to create the life we want, but it requires action and intention. Today might be the day to cut away the parts of our life that no longer serve us. It's time to let go of people, places, and things that don't contribute to our well-being. We don't have to live on repeat if we're not happy. We have the power to change anything in our lives. We often box ourselves in and adapt to a reality that falls short of what truly matters to us. But we must remember that nothing happens without momentum, and momentum is something we create. We are not just characters in this story, we are creators. I've experienced ups and downs in my personal journey, and I believe it's a healthy sign of growth. It's important to look for those imaginary ropes that tie us down and break free from them. By pushing ourselves, trying new things, and taking risks, we can create momentum and feel the excitement. Every successful person has a story of hardship, of endurance, of resilience. What will your story be? What of those who face greater trials? The ones who cannot walk, who cannot speak, who suffer illnesses with no cures? What of them? What of you? What will you do with this one wild and precious life you've been given? Will you falter because of a bad day, a lost job, or a moment that didn't go your way? Or will you rise, recognizing that every challenge is a stepping stone to greater heights? We are all accountable, all responsible, not only for ourselves, but for one another. And as long as your heart beats, as long as air fills your lungs, you are not done. Your story is not over. The time is now not to lie down, but to rise up. Rise above despair, rise above defeat. Push forward, not back. For time waits for no one, and it certainly won't pause for you. It's time to show what you're made of. Time to prove that your existence is not in vain. It takes grit, it takes sacrifice. It takes a relentless will to push through when every fiber of your being wants to give up. But this is not about pity. This is about rising to the occasion of your life.
I found that nothing in life is worthwhile unless you take risks. Nothing. Nelson Mandela said, "There is no passion to be found playing small and settling for a life that's less than the one you're capable of living." Now, I'm sure in your experiences in school and applying to college and picking your major and deciding what you want to do with life, I'm sure people have told you to make sure you have something to fall back on. Make sure you got something to fall back on, honey. But I never understood that concept, having something to fall back on.
Fail big. That's right. Fail big. Today is the beginning of the rest of your life, and it can be very frightening. It's a new world out there. It's a mean world out there, and you only live once. So do what you feel passionate about. Take chances professionally. Don't be afraid to fail. There's an old IQ test, was 9 dots, and you had to draw 5 lines with a pencil within these 9 dots without lifting the pencil. The only way to do it was to go outside the box. So don't be afraid to go outside the box. Don't be afraid to think outside the box. Don't be afraid to fail big. The battles you face today forge the victories of tomorrow. Each challenge, each setback is an integral step on the path to greatness. Do not fear the pain. Do not shy away from the struggle. Embrace it, for it is the crucible in which true character is formed. As we stand together in this room, let us not dwell on the uncertainties of tomorrow, for tomorrow is beholden to no one. It has already made up its mind. Focus instead on today, this moment, this opportunity. What you could not achieve yesterday is past, but what you can achieve today is in your hands. You may have walked through fire to get here. You may carry scars, but let me tell you, these scars are not signs of your defeat, but badges of your indomitable spirit. Hell may have tried to claim you, but it did not create you. You are here because a greater power saw fit to place you in this moment, in this life with all its possibilities. And yes, some have reached heights of success, but they too had to navigate through their own storms to reach their summits.
You will fail at some point in your life. Accept it. You will lose. You will embarrass yourself. You will suck at something. There's no doubt about it. And I know that's probably not a traditional message for a graduation ceremony, but hey, I'm telling you, embrace it because it's inevitable. And I should know. In the acting business, you fail all the time. Early on in my career, I auditioned for a part in a Broadway musical. Perfect role for me, I thought, except for the fact that I can't sing. I didn't get the job. But here's the thing. I didn't quit. I didn't fall back. I walked out of there to prepare for the next audition, and the next audition, and the next audition. I prayed. I prayed. And I prayed. But I continued to fail and fail and fail. But it didn't matter because you know what? There's an old saying, you hang around the barbershop long enough, sooner or later you're going to get a haircut. So you will catch a break, and I did catch a break. Last year, I did a play called Fences on Broadway. So someone talked about it. Won the Tony Award.
And I didn't have to sing, by the way. But here's the kicker. It was at the Court Theater. It was at the same theater that I failed that first audition 30 years prior.
Life is not a game. It is the rawest form of reality, filled with highs and lows and the undeniable truth of now. The power to improve your life rests in your hands and yours alone. Banish those things that do not build you up, that do not fill you with strength and efficiency. Reject passivity and embrace the challenge of living fully. Every breath you take is a testament to your resilience. Do not surrender to despair. You are here for a reason. Each day is a new chance to leave your mark. Help someone up when they're down. Be their strength when they feel weak. And perhaps when you find yourself at your lowest, you will find hands reaching out to lift you.
Don't be afraid to go outside the box. Don't be afraid to think outside the box. Don't be afraid to fail big, to dream big.
Celebrate your existence. For no matter the circumstances, the act of living offers you the chance to change, to evolve, to transcend. So many may doubt you, but while they doubt, spend no time on their skepticism. Instead, invest your energy in believing in yourself. Live your life with the breath of passion and purpose. Do you hear it? The call to live, to really live? Breathe in life, breathe in possibility, breathe in your potential. And let's embark on this journey together with hearts full and spirits undeterred, ready to embrace each moment, each challenge, each opportunity to truly live. Let's make our lives extraordinary together.
While it may be frightening, it will also be rewarding. So you got to get out there. You got to give it everything you got, whether it's your time, your talent, your prayers, or your treasures. Because taking risk is not just about going for a job. It's also about knowing what you know and what you don't know. It's about being open to people and to ideas. To get something you never had, you have to do something you never did. Because the chances you take, the people you meet, the people you love, the faith that you have, that's what's going to define you.
We are always just one decision away from a completely different life. The key is to choose the future over the past, to embrace the next step rather than dwelling on the last one. It's about choosing the life we desire and taking action to make it a reality. A few years ago, I had a breakthrough that changed my life. It was a moment when I realized the tremendous amount of control I have over my own life. This realization empowered me, as if I had finally discovered the key to unlock the door that had been holding me back. From that moment on, I asked myself, why not start living like I have this power? Life will always have its responsibilities and sacrifices, but knowing that I can shape my own destiny made me question what I was sacrificing for. Where was I going? Who was I surrounding myself with? Was I living a life true to myself? Time passes by quickly, and it's not guaranteed. No one will remind us that we're just going through the motions. We have to take a look in the mirror and ask ourselves the tough questions. We have the tools and the ability to create the life we want, but it requires action and intention.
The point is, and I'll pick up the pace, the point is every graduate here today has the training and the talent to succeed. But do you have the guts to fail? Here's my second point about failure. If you don't fail, you're not even trying.
I'll say it again. If you don't fail, you're not even trying. My wife told me this great expression. To get something you never had, you have to do something you never did. Les Brown's a motivational speaker. He made an analogy about this. He says, imagine you're on your deathbed, and standing around your deathbed are the ghosts representing your unfulfilled potential. The ghost of the ideas you never acted on. The ghost of the talents you didn't use. And they're standing around your bed, angry, disappointed, and upset. They say, we came to you because you could have brought us to life, they say. And now we have to go to the grave together. So I ask you today, how many ghosts are going to be around your bed when your time comes? Not only take risks, but to be open to life, to accept new views, and to be open to new opinions, to be willing to speak at a commencement at one of the best universities in the country, even though you're scared stiff. While it may be frightening, it will also be rewarding. Because the chances you take, the people you meet, the people you love, the faith that you have, that's what's going to define you. Never be discouraged. Never hold back. Give everything you got. And when you fall throughout life, and remember this, fall forward.
Say thank you for grace. Thank you for mercy. Thank you for understanding. Thank you for wisdom. Thank you for parents. Thank you for love. Thank you for kindness. Thank you for humility. Thank you for peace. Thank you for prosperity. Say thank you in advance for what's already yours. That's how I live my life. That's why I am. One of the reasons why I am today. Say thank you in advance for what is already yours. True desire in the heart for anything good is God's proof to you sent beforehand to indicate that it's yours already. And anything you want good, you can have. So claim it. Work hard to get it. When you get it, reach back. Pull someone else up. Each one, teach one. Don't just aspire to make a living. Aspire to make a difference.
Today might be the day to cut away the parts of our life that no longer serve us. It's time to let go of people, places, and things that don't contribute to our well-being. We don't have to live on repeat if we're not happy. We have the power to change anything in our lives. We often box ourselves in and adapt to a reality that falls short of what truly matters to us. But we must remember that nothing happens without momentum, and momentum is something we create. We are not just characters in this story, we are creators. I've experienced ups and downs in my personal journey, and I believe it's a healthy sign of growth. It's important to look for those imaginary ropes that tie us down and break free from them. By pushing ourselves, trying new things, and taking risks, we can create momentum and feel the excitement. We have the power to adapt and change. Now is the beginning of the rest of our lives. By making small changes and envisioning who we want to be, we can move towards our ideal self. Understanding the power of habits and change allows us to see that transformation doesn't have to be overwhelming or scary. It's about making small adjustments that work in our favor, like waking up earlier or focusing on positive outcomes.
If I'm going to fall, I don't want to fall back on anything except my faith. I want to fall forward. Figure at least this way I'll see what I'm going to hit. Fall forward. This is what I mean.
But I always had a dream, and I always knew I was doing something wrong by introducing people to the spirituality, by introducing them to personal development, by making sure their relationships was good, but they couldn't make no money. So I was always like, man, God, something's missing. And God, like, yeah, the making money part is missing. And so somebody came to me once, was like, E.T., what is it? Is it God or is it money? I said, get as much as both of them as you can. I'm being honest. No, I want to change somebody's perspective. Get as much money as you can possibly get. Do you know a lot of why you're going to have a long conversation with God? You have a long conversation with God because God is going to show you economically what you should have made and what you made while you were on the earth. I want you to understand something. I need you to understand that money is not about money. But if you are as gifted as you say you are, if you're the head and not the tail like you say you are, if you're above and not beneath like you say you are, if you're a royal priesthood like you claim you are, oh, you missed what I just said. If you're all of that, then what you should be able to do and attract should be much more than living from check to check. Amen. We got two problems. We got one problem. Either you're not operating in your anointing or you're not stewarding properly, and both of them are a problem. Amen. Come on, somebody talk back to me. I'm talking to you. I'm telling you because the gifts that he put inside of you were to make room for you. But you ain't using your gifts because you're focusing on what other people are telling you should and should not do. Here's what I need you to do. I need you to honestly say, hey, God, how much money should I produce with all the gifts that you've given me? I'm not on no money's tip. God already told me you should be a billionaire. God is like, son, I didn't super anointed you. I didn't just give you an anointing out of this world, son. I didn't give you a gift, son. Now, the problem is you not making money because you one-dimensional. You just keep worrying about heaven, and I need you to focus on earth. Oh, can I just be honest? God was like, you're so worried about heaven that it's some opportunities. You're missing on earth, you're going to get here when you get here, and when you get here, that ain't got nothing to do with you. That's on me. But there's some stuff you're supposed to be doing down there. That's on you. I'm trying to say it simple so you can get it. You're so focused on getting to heaven. You're so focused on spiritual things that you're no earthly good. Come on, son, listen to me. And this is why all should be excited. Not only are we going to get to a billion, you ought to be excited because there's no way to get to a billionaire without helping you get to a billionaire. Oh, y'all just missed that. We all missed that whole thing. Me making a billion ain't got nothing to do with me. Me making a billion is empowering you. And when I empower you and you take off and I got 20,000 people in the earth handling a business. Do you understand how we made the New York Times bestsellers list? We wasn't on nobody's show, we wasn't on nobody's radio. Didn't nobody write about us. We made it because we poured it to you and then you pour it back into us. Maybe you don't know who you are. You've got to understand who you are because the OE would have did 300, 500 and filled this whole place up. I'm trying to teach you who you are. The old me would have did $300, $400, $500 and have 4,000 people in here. God says, don't do that. You thought you came here for a conference. We are attached together now. Why all our movement and our ministry and everything we do well, y'all miss what I just said. Why y'all miss what I just said? I just told you God said, don't bring the 4,000 here. Half of me bought nothing. Anyway, don't bring them in here. Don't bring them around. Don't you do that to them. Don't worry about the multitude. We ain't about to change the world with the multitude. We about to change it with the few. We don't need 4000. Pay attention to how they drink water. And if they're not drinking the right, don't invite them. Make sure they drinking it right. Because we about to change the world. Hallelujah. So I need you to understand something. I don't care what they tell you. If you're in this room, I don't care what they told you. I don't care what they say. You made it in the room. Oh, and I'm excited because I made it in the room. Oh, you're not hearing me? I don't got no pass. I'm blessed. Okay, why all missed it? David's son said, God, I'm not even worthy to lead such a people. Now before, look to me very closely. It's going to be a lot of slides. The main slide is you better figure out who you are before we get out of here. Because a lot of you, because you don't know who you are, you dummy it down, you shrink in, you talking too much. Some of why all for real. Every time you go and you just talk. Why? Because you don't know who you are. We don't need all that talking. We need execution. But when you don't know who you are, you talk to try to convince people to believe you, or shut up and just get on the New York Times bestseller list. Just shut up and do the LA Times. Yeah, just shut up and get on USA Today. Just shut up and grind and let your grind speak for you. We ain't got to tell them who we are. We just keep grinding and they're going to figure it out because you told them. Okay, we're going to get back to the slide. Y'all got to hear this part. You're missing it. I didn't tell him you told Barnes & Nobles that we was the best. You told Barnes & Nobles that Barnes & Nobles said this is the #1 book at Barnes & Nobles. I didn't call and tell him that. You told him when you showed up and you got the book. You told him when you bought all the books. Come on, somebody. You told Barnes & Nobles. Barnes & Nobles, like, who is he? Listen to me. I believed in you so much that I didn't even put my face on the cover of the book. Oh, you better hear what I just said. I didn't even put my face on the cover. I didn't even want them to know who I was. I knew I trusted that you was going to tell them who I was. I'm just going to snatch them jokers off. Like, give me these right here. Why I only got 5, some of why I was like Ray Wild got 5, and you're only going to order 5 more. You better get 100. Somebody called and ordered 100. I need 100. Not don't bring them to my house. I need 100 in Barnes & Nobles, and I need to come and get them so you can see who he is. Don't bring them to my house. Oh, we all missed what I just said? Do I all know who I all are? And if you knew who you were, you stopped shrinking, and you stopped worrying about what they think about you. Oh, this is going to be very close. We're going to change this world. Your life going to change. As soon as you realize who you are and you get in alignment, everything's going to change. So let's go there again. So we start here. Most of why I got to start with your pain points, because you don't know how powerful you are. So let's start with the pain point. Let's go again. Put that up for me on screen. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to write your pain point down. And I want you to write down the thing that God is asking you to do when you leave this room. Like, nope, I'm not living from check to check no more. And here's the cool thing. What's the pain point, right? That this conference can help you solve. Here's the cool thing. You don't need to do none of this. You just need to be honest with God about it. What goals can the conference help you achieve? And for some of you, it's a leverage question. How will you leverage what you learned this weekend and take it to the next level? Do you know, being in that room with Warren Buffett, if I would have never been in that room with Warren Buffett, I would have never thought I could be a billionaire. When I left that room, I heard God tell me, I didn't bring you in that room so you could take pictures. I didn't bring you in that room so you could say you met Warren Buffett. I brought you in that room because you're the next one. My job is not to teach you leads and all that real estate stuff. That's not my thing. My thing is to help you change your what? Because when you change you change what? Everything. Again, I'm here to help you change because when you change you change. Come on, one more time. I'm here to help you change cause when you change you change. I go into a school, I go like this. Why? Because I want kids to know who come from urban communities that this was what a PhD looked like. I want to change your mindset. I know what you thought it was, but regular people can get it. I know what you thought it was. I know what you thought a billionaire looked like. I'm about to show you that. It's a lot of different ways to look like a billionaire. For those of you like me whose mama got pregnant at 17, you can be a billionaire too. It's not a look, it's a mindset. I'm trying to tell you in this room, many of you are not going to take advantage of this. Not because you can't, but you don't see yourself as, it's not a person, it's not a race, it's not a color, it's not an age, it's a mindset. They're gonna give you all the information, but if you don't change the way you think. All right, so listen to me very closely. So I started getting around billionaires, and billionaires are considered number one in the world. So I had a different mindset. So now the book comes out. Number one in motivational management and leadership. Number one in business motivation and self-help books. Number one in business motivation and self-improvement audiobook. Number one in ethnic studies. Look, it's a mindset. One. We don't think number 10, number 20. We think number one. Write down what you're going to be number one in 2023. Write it down. You're going to change your mindset. Write it down. What are you going to be in 2020? Number one in what? Taking advantage of these leads. What are you going to be number one in? I wanted to be the number one motivational speaker in the world. Now that does not mean that nobody else is. I'm just saying, I just gave myself that because I need something to wake up to and something to push for. Does that make sense? What do you need to be number one in? Mentality. I just want to show you. Poor versus rich. One kills time. One invests in time. One buys luxurious stuff. One buys assets. One is indecisive. One decides often. They get paid weekly. One gets paid daily if they want to. Scarcity mindset. The other one has an abundant mindset. One plans for the weekend. The other one plans for their future. One is a consumer. One is a producer. Yep. Bill Gates became a billionaire. Why? Because he took a computer from a business and put it in your home. Now you can use it. He solved the problem. People who couldn't get access to information, he created a laptop, and then boom, now in your house you can. And so kids can, I got my dissertation while I never went to a library. When I was coming up as a kid, there was no way to read without going to the library. I know I'm old, Dewey Decimal System, I don't know. You remember when you had the 004352? You were like, Lord, I'm on floor 3, you up on the 3rd floor? You're like, that ain't it. Okay, I'm still on the other side, right? Remember when you used to copy and you could never get the middle part? You got to figure out what the middle word said. You couldn't quite open the book and get that. Now, you don't have to do that no more. You just go online, boom. Somebody created, there's something you're gonna solve in this industry. So you're gonna learn from them, and then you're gonna create another solution to something and call that solution university. You can have your own university. You can learn from them. You can have your own conferences. You can have your own books. Does that make sense? Who's ready to be number one in this industry? Let me see your hand. Come on, what's the song say? I'm sorry, I forgot. Land of the home of the, I don't know if you caught that one more time. Land of thee, but the home of thee. You might have missed it. You've been singing it for a long time. You're not paying attention. It is definitely the land of the, but it's only the home of the American dream is real, but they're not passing it out. They're not giving it away. It's real, but you got to go get it. All right, do me a favor. Let's go. Stop complaining you don't have time. 168 hours per week, 48 hours at work, 7 hours at the gym, 56 hours of sleep, 65 hours left. You do all of this right here, you still got 65 hours left. Act today. Use your time wisely. Mental toughness is about what you do when you're under stress. And you're under pressure. Told y'all Mike Tyson. I've never seen Mike Tyson lose but once, and he lost to a buster. Imagine Mike Tyson, your first loss is to a buster. I want to lose to Zeus Hercules. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I got beat by Hercules. Can't nobody say nothing about that, but you got beat by a buster and that buster never won another fight. But you know why Buster beat Mike Tyson? Because 3 days before he fought Mike Tyson, his mama was in the beauty salon, bragging about some Mike Tyson. Mr. Douglas, how did you do it? He said he hurt me when he knocked me down, but that pain I felt when he knocked me down was not greater than the pain I would have felt if I let my mama down on the great days be great and on the bad days be greater. All right, let me go over it one more time. Let me go over it one more time. You are not where you're supposed to be because of you. You are not where you're supposed to be because of you. You are not where you're supposed to be financially because of you. It's all you. And it's because you're having a bad moment. You are human. You are human. I had a thought the other day, human. And I had it. I was on a treadmill. I had it for about 60 seconds. Then I had it for 90 seconds. And I was like, well, let's stop right now. Let's stop. Let's stop. Let's stop right now. I don't know why you're thinking this. Because it is not helpful to where you are. And it's not helpful to where you're going. Human, it might have been Tuesday or Wednesday, I was on a treadmill. Just some random dumb stuff came in my head. Just random dumb stupid stuff. And I was like, I do not accept that. This is my brain, not yours. I do not accept this thought right now. This thought is not healthy for my wife. It's not healthy for my kids. It's not helpful for ETA. It's not helpful for a PIC. It has absolutely nothing. It's not helpful for those of you. I could not do a video from this energy right now. There's nothing healthy about what just came in my brain. I will not just let it sit there and take residence. You have to go. And so I had to think another thought that was the opposite thought of that thought. And I had to say that for 90 seconds. And guess what happens? As powerful as the brain is, and as many things that it could think of in the subconscious mind in seconds, it cannot have two opposing thoughts. I thought that once your brain does not work that way. It cannot think of two things at one time. It can only think one thing at a time. And I decided that the thing that randomly came to my mind, I didn't want to think about that. Don't drown your voice for a voice like close your ears and hear your voice. You know what's going to happen. When you hear your voice and do what you're supposed to do, you're going to be able to bless your spouse and your kids and your family the way you can't. When you listen to them, does that make sense? I know you can't listen to somebody else's voice, what they told you to do. What you couldn't do when you took that stuff serious. It's your voice. You got to start listening to it. It knows best. Is that clear? When you get a thought that's not your thought, stop letting that thought just take control. It doesn't belong there. Anything that's not in alignment with your dreams and your goals, let it go. And so you're going to stop in the middle of the day with your phone, and you're going to put your earphones on, and you're going to listen to whatever you listen to, and you're going to take 5 minutes, 10 minutes, however long it takes, and you're going to get out of that funk. Okay. How many of y'all, you get into a funk sometime? Let me see your hand. Be honest. How many of you get into a funk for more than a, like you let it just take the whole day? Just be honest. Stop. Stop. We're going to do a 5-minute funk. I'm just being real. That's it. That's our rule for the new year. 5-minute funk. That's it. And after that 5 minutes, it's over. and during the 5 minutes, we're going to stop it. So we might stop it at 2. We might stop it at 3, but by 5 it's stopped. What would your life look like if you only listen to your voice and you use your inner energy to help you to become successful? What would it look like? Now, let me ask you this. How many of you have listened to other people's voice? You listen to it. Let me see your hand. You've literally listened to other people's voice. Hands down. How has that worked out? I'm just being real. Here's what's crazy. It don't even work. Are you still doing it? Like it didn't even work. Like it don't even help you, but you're still doing it. You know why? Because you're more concerned about how they feel about you than how you love yourself. And you got a love problem and you need to fix it. You don't love yourself and you need to fix that. Why? Because you're concerned about what they think. They're not even you. And so we're going to fix our thinking. We're going to channel our energy. And this is going to be the best year of our life. Does that make sense? Come on. Does that make sense? Yeah. All right, you can be seated now. All right, today is all about you. This is all about you. Okay, so do me a favor. Stop being deep and take everything you learn and use it. Okay, stop like trying to tell people you read 6 books and you ain't done nothing with them. I'm just going to let religious people kill me. I read the whole Bible and ain't nothing changed. You're the same person who's like, you get brownie points for reading the whole Bible. Like I go to church every 7 and you get brownie points for that. Like, what do you get for that? It's about change, right? So I don't want you to read the Bible. I just want you to find 3 scriptures this year that you can read and let them do them. Read 4 books and do what they tell you to do. Matter of fact, read 1 book and do what the book tell you to do. Like for real, just read 1 chapter and put the book down, do what the chapter tell you to do. I'm just being real. What does it benefit you to read the whole book and you're not using it? All right, so this is the year of execution. Like we're going to execute in small ways and those ex-kids going to turn into something. Right. So I heard something that revolutionized my life. All right, I'm going to show you today is going to be nothing but me just going 1 through 3 on you. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, helping you. So when you walk out of this place, I need at least 3 things that you're going to do that you weren't doing before or you were doing and you're going to do it better. Does that make sense? All right. So here's what I want to tell you, and it's going to hurt. But if you're not exactly where you want to be, it's your fault. Write that down. It's your fault. Put that down. Put that down. If there's an area where you're not successfully and like you want to be successful, it's your fault. Now, here's the cool thing about it. If it's your fault, then you have the power to do what you had a power to change it. All right. So when we leave here, whatever you don't have that you want to have, if you're willing to make the adjustments, you can have it. So here's the first one, right? Write the word down wealth. Now, here's the biggest challenge that I have, and you got to be careful why all. And for a lot of us, if you are a minority, I get it. But I want to educate you today because we have been enslaved. What happens now is that we see wealth as money. All right, and I want you to understand something. When I break down what wealth is to you, money is low-hanging fruit. It's the easiest thing to get. I just want to make sure you're clear on that. And the reason why I say that is I want to help you because what happens for a lot of us is we get money. And then all of a sudden we think we made it. You have not. Money is the easiest thing. Why? Because you live in a capitalistic society. So money is the easiest thing to get. Being in a relationship for a long period of time and not getting a divorce, that's hard to do. Having a successful relationship with your kids, that's a hard thing to do. So what I want you to understand is when you make money and you're walking around with the Louis bag, I feel you. Congratulations. That's the lowest level though. That's like getting a G. I just want to make sure I'm clear. That's a G-Ed. Because what? They sell Lewis. They don't sell how to be in a successful marriage. They don't have that. You can't go to the store and get that. You can't go buy. I got $2,000. I want to have a great marriage. All right, bet. Give me the $2,000. Here go a receipt. Come back in a month if it don't work. They ain't got no courses for you and your kids. So I just need you to understand. There's nothing wrong with making a lot of money and buying stuff, but you cannot make me. Think of you all that in a bag of chips. You got a G. Congratulations. We should throw a little party for you. A little baby one, though. You ain't graduated from college. Ain't nobody about to cash you out. It's a G, Ed, you feel me? But you should be proud. Put it up on the wall. But because you make money and you live in a house and you got stuff that's not what Dr. Martin Luther King died for. He wasn't on that. He didn't say, I'm about to die so you can go buy Louis purses. Is that clear? So I just want you to make sure that when you make good money, you put it in its proper place. Money is good to have, but if you can exchange a great marriage and a great relationship with your kids and only make $50,000 versus being a billionaire. But nobody stand you. You probably go for the $50,000 and have a healthy family. Does that make sense? And you be healthy. Amen. That's the highest level of success is when you get through all your hurt and your pain and you become whole. Because here's the deal, if you make money, you can teach me that, but if you're not whole, you can't lead me. No, you got to hear what I'm saying. It doesn't make us bad people. If you were 3, ain't nobody tripping. If you were 4, ain't nobody tripping, but the world would not follow the 21-year-old Eric Thomas. Let me just be clear on that. The world ain't about to follow the 21-year-old Eric. My wife wasn't even following me. My wife left. My wife wasn't even feeling me and what I was doing. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Nobody would follow the 26-year-old Eric. I was still a work in progress. But you will follow the 49-year-old Eric. Why? Because in many areas I'm further on the road than you are. I'm not better than you, but I've made a commitment to be wealthier earlier than you.